Hi, my name is Tom at I'dRatherBeWriting.com, and today I'm going to show you how you can transfer WordPress from one web host to another. This is assuming that you've already got your blog installed on your web host and you've got content in there, and you just, for whatever reason, you don't like the web host, you're having issues, you want to move it into an entirely different web host. These are the steps that you have to go through, or that you can go through. And I'm breaking this down into 4 parts just because it's kind of a lot here and it's a lot to cover in just one video. So the first step, the first thing you need to do is obviously identify the new web host. And there's lots of web hosts out there. I recommend that you look for at least 3 kind of key points. One is you want one with good performance. And now with WordPress, the Linux, the Unix servers work best. So if you see a Windows option, I really don't recommend that. There's some file permissions issues. There's like the index.php will appear in your URL and so forth. So, but try to find a web host that doesn't overcrowd their servers. And I'm not really sure, how you verify that. But performance is good. Support is also important. You need somebody that is going to be available when you want them, like 24/7, either through live chat or through phone or something. And finally, you need an easy interface. You need some kind of interface where you can manage your blog, preferably one that has something called cPanel, which stands for Control Panel. It's going to have your database tools for working with your database. It's going to have tools for working with all your files and your content. I like Bluehost, but there's lots of other good hosts out there. So after you identify the new host, you need to install WordPress. So here's how you install it. Assuming that you have cPanel, you would just log in, and this is what cPanel looks like. Scroll down, and most of them have an auto installer. I like Simple Scripts. You just click Simple Scripts. I've got quite a few blogs installed. You click WordPress because that's what you want to install. Click Install. And then you'll choose the directory that you want to install it. Usually when you signed up for your account, you had to tell them what domain you wanted and so forth. And so that will be an option here. So if I wanted to install it into janereads.com, I would just put it right there. And then you would just click the little checkbox here and choose Complete. And when you do that, it will install the blog.
Come on, take a picture.
So after you've installed the blog, though, you run into a problem. Your old domain, your old web host has your content, right? And your domain is pointing to that old web host. But now you've installed your content, or you've installed WordPress on a new web host, and your domain isn't pointing to that web host. So how do you work with it? You can't go to janereads.com or whatever to work with it. You have to go to the temporary IP address that they give you. So when you sign up for a web hosting plan, if you don't already have a domain that you're able to point to that, because of course you're probably just working on it, you have to go to this temporary IP address that they should give you when you sign up. So although I installed the blog at janereads.com, if I were to type janereads.com, it would still go to my old host, right? Because that's where the name servers or the domain point. So what I'm going to do is go into phpMyAdmin, which is a tool for working with the databases for your blog, and I'm going to repoint the home and the site URL to this temporary IP address. Then I'll be able to go to it. I'll be able to work with that blog, no problem. So I'm going to go back into Control Panel, and I'm going to scroll down here, and where it says phpMyAdmin under databases, this tool allows you to work with all of your databases. So on the left, you can see that I have a ton of databases here. Most of these are WordPress installations. And the one that corresponds with the blog that I installed is this one. So you select the database you want to work with there. And now click the WP options table or row, whatever, here. Click Browse. And now see where it says site URL? You won't be able to work with your blog if that URL is always going to be pointing to your old database. So I have the temporary URL right here, and I will just copy that, and I'll click Edit, and I'll just change this to my temporary URL so I can work with it, and click Go. And there's one more. In addition to the site URL, you have to change one other, but you don't see it until you go to the next page. Down at the bottom here, it's kind of out of the video screen, but I'm clicking a little arrow for next. And you see home here is also pointing to janereads.com. So I'm going to change that to my temporary domain as well. And now I'll be able to go to that domain in my address bar, and I'll be able to log into WordPress at WP admin and so forth. And now that you've set up that you've set up the blog settings so that it's pointing to that temporary domain, you can work with it. You can configure it, upload your theme, do all kinds of things. And when you're ready to go live later, we'll do this later, you can just log back into PHPMyAdmin and change those values back to the regular domain once you've transferred that.